Alright, short video on how to change the fan of a Rigol DS1054Z, which is an excellent scope, but has the unfortunate drawback of having a very loud fan. I ordered a Silent 5 off of eBay. The fan has excellent specs. It's supposed to be running at 23 decibels. This is a Torx. It's going to be needed for opening the oscilloscope later. It's a Torx 10. Now I'm going to peel back this sticker to see if I can get at some soldering points. I do not. Let's now try to open the oscilloscope. Gonna need the Torx 10. And there are 4 screws that are visible to me. 2 are down here by the handle. And you have to have the handle at precisely the right angle for them to be able to come out. Now beneath there is a sticker saying warranty void if removed. It's the silver sticker. There are other tutorials on YouTube saying how you can remove the lid without breaking that sticker using a heat gun and others things. This is already too old for me to have any warranty left, so I do not care particularly. There we go. Now let's see if this comes off. Yeah, the screws weren't out all the way. Alright, here we are at the shielded part. And the fan should be right there. And most likely comes out with the same Torx 10 screws, yes. But before that we need to get into the power supply and the connection where the fan actually resides. And then also one shouldn't forget that this is most likely tied down. Yeah, it is. When using crappy tools, you should be really careful. I should have gone and fetched my proper tool casing, but it's down in my car, so I didn't. It's the main connector, and I'm guessing that's the fan connector, just right there. Now, I don't actually want to disconnect anything, I just want to get the fan out. So I think I will disconnect this little guy down here. I touched ground terminals in a main socket before doing this, just to make sure there's no static discharge into these parts of it. Thick, heavy screws. They look a lot like the ones I got with the new fan. And the fan dropped. Pick that out. Let's get this last screw out. Here's the old fan disconnected, and if we take the new fan and put them next to each other, the size is identical, and you can see through the holes, meaning they line up and the screws will go in with no problem. Two wires with 3 soldering points. Alright, so I'm gonna test the direction of flow for this fan. This existing fan that was in it earlier. I have a power supply here supporting or supplying 12 volts. Okay, so the direction of the air is actually on this one, marked with a arrow somewhere. Yeah, here. I don't know if you can, yeah, you can just make it out there. It's towards my fingers, and the fan is rotating in the direction of my thumb. And yeah, the best way of remembering that is you can see the damage or the marks that the screws have made. So this is going to be the part that's for the screws, and it's pushing the air out of the oscilloscope. I'm also, it's making quite a lot of noise, and if I do this, I don't know if you can hear it from the table. There's quite a bit of resonance, so it's vibrating a bit. Crappy fan. I don't know about the pin out for this one, because it's a 3-pin one. So one of the pins is obviously for either PWM or a sensor for measuring the speed of the fan. I guess pushing in 12 volts in the sensor is going to break it, if that is what the last one is. If it's a PWM, it hopefully just treats it as an always on signal. Yeah, I'm gonna look some on the internet to see what the deal is with this specific model. Positive in the middle, and then come on. Spinning, and this was spinning in the direction of the cables. I feel it on my hand. This one is 2, so I'm thinking that that is good, and I'll run with that. The wire is quite a bit longer in the new fan than it was in the old one, so I'm guessing you're gonna have to short that one down, but I'm still gonna have to figure out which. This one is the negative, and the middle one is the positive. That will be pretty easy to keep track of since it's the middle one. But when cutting these, I'm gonna make it a bit longer than it was originally, so I have a bit of space to work with. A tip is, if you do have the length, you can cut the red and the black at different lengths. That way the naked connections will never line up. And then when you cut the other part, make sure that the one going into black is longer and the one going into red is shorter. Because then the naked parts will be around there and around there, and that's another level of isolation, I guess. And then it's easy to forget the shrinking tubes, you can put that on at once. Now let's see if there's any way to identify 3 of these. Okay, the sensor one seems to have text written on it. And as long as that one is the only one that does, I can identify them after cutting. So does the other one carry any text on it? No, it does not. Alright, now let's see. The red one is to be a bit shorter. Making sure that it's the middle one. I'll just dip them in some soldering fluid to make sure that the solder will stick easily. Now that's reasonably good. And as you can see, even if I did not have the heat shrink, these two would never be in contact with each other. So it just decreases the chance of, or risk of, shorting out. And apply your favorite heat source. That is reasonably good. This there. Put a little bit of one of these. So yeah, that should work. Let's try it. That's running just fine. Good. Next step. Putting it back in. Touch ground. Get rid of electrical charges. Ideally, you should, of course, wear a EMF band around your wrist so that you don't have to remember to touch ground and you're constantly grounded. And then run it through the little harness up there. There we go. And then run this down there. And since everything else is Torx, I will be using the old screws, and I guess I will have to push back since these can be a bit reluctant to go in. First I'll change to the Torx. I am using quite a bit of force because they are making new tracks in the plastic when they go in. This is also a good reason to try to get it straight in. I think I will screw it together first. Now I am running the risk that it doesn't work and I have to take it apart again, but I think it's better to take it apart again if it's a failure than destroying it. Alright, for the screws, I think I will use my electric screwdriver to get the force. This might be difficult to see. It's quite a lot in the way. So I unscrew those a bit. Then I'm gonna screw these ones in. Right, seems to be on there really well. Still last test with a hand. Yep, they're on there. Let's put the cover back on and see how we do. Alright, getting the long screws in the hole was a bit of a hassle. Remember to put these back before you close the lid. Here we go. All done. Now let's turn it on. And moment of truth. Okay, either the fan is not working or it's really quiet. The fan actually is working. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's real quiet. So, very good.